Sometimes I feel like I'm Maria von Trapp, but instead of a lush mountain in Austria, I feel like I've been climbing a giant mountain of shumai, clinging to every ridge. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. 2 dumplings forward, 2 dumplings back. But with each step, I'm guided by my mother's voice to go higher, dig my spatulas in deeper, towards the heavens, towards my ancestors, climbing on the backs of the Chinese immigrants before me, allowing me this life, allowing me to take pride in my heritage. But it wasn't always this way. Chinese American in Minnesota in the 1970s was fraught with taunts and racial slurs. There were so few Asians, we felt like aliens from outer space. Like the time my grandma took me to Meacham's, our neighborhood corner store. She led me to the aisle where all the candy was. I loaded up a huge heap of bottle caps, now and laters, in bitter honey. We saddled up to the counter to face Mr. Meacham, a grumpy, mean-faced man. I watched his grandma place her bills on the counter. They were light pink, light green, and light blue. I was confused. This is Monopoly money, old lady. Why don't you go back to where you came from? Pot guy. I found out later, Grandma told Mr. Meacham to go to hell in Cantonese. We're expected to assimilate in every way except lunch. All the other kids had bologna sandwiches. Ew, what's that gross? We had barbecued pork buns. My mom changed her name from Wai Hing to Leanne, and my father from Kontong to Tony. They took us to Sons of Norway events. Woofta Katie, want some more krunkaka? I can put some in a bag for ya. We ate Norwegian delights and sat on drunk Norwegian Santa Claus's lap, telling him of our wishes of rock'em sock'em robots and Barbie townhouses. Well, aren't you a cute little China doll, little girl? I just want to be blonde and Norwegian like everybody else. Mom, I'm going to Lake Harriet with Lisa Weaver. Why are you putting baby oil all over your skin? You're starting to look dark, like peasant from village. I know in her head, she thinks I'm acting like a silly blonde Midwestern girl. At the lake, it's dinner time, and I know through my mom's tofu telepathy, the shallots are sizzling in her wok. My body gets up and I head home on my hand-me-down Schwinn. As I near the kitchen door, I hear my parents shouting, Wai Hing, ne gamya da dogala, yon falea! She sheen kontong, ne tayam door. They speak to each other in Chinese, but talk to us in English. The whole point of dinner in our Chinese-American family was to eat, not to speak. And sitting together after our parents' fight was no exception. I look into my sister Jeannie's eyes, and it's a gaze of sympathy and compassion for our mom. Billy's eyes shoot me a, stop looking so sad, look. It's making Mom more sad that you're sad. Laura's eyes, she's daydreaming about a jacket she wants at the mall. Patty's eyes, glaring at my father. Mother's eyes, she doesn't want me to see her eyes because they reveal her feeling vulnerable, something she wants to hide from her kids. Father's eyes, anger and anxiety. My oldest sister, Linda, is like a hippie version of Marsha Brady. But Patty's like Jan, introverted and shy. She's 12 years older than me and spends some days reading to me all afternoon. But she inherited my father's depression and anxiety, so on other days she becomes withdrawn and hides in her room for hours. Linda's the alpha dog, picks fights with Patty. I just thought you want to try the extra strength, Claricil, because the regular kind obviously isn't cutting it. Shut up, Linda! Stop making fun of me, you're such a bitch! That was the time Patty threw a can of Maxwell House and broke the window. She was going for Linda's head. It feels like World War III, and Patty moves out when she's 19. I'm 8. Jeannie and I take the bus to visit her at her groovy apartment. There's a waterbed and a lava lamp. We get to eat ding-dongs and ho-hos. We get to stay up until midnight watching TV. Hey, what's in that big green glass tube she keeps smoking from? Mom picks us up the next day. She stares at the piles of dirty dishes, laundry, garbage. We leave without saying goodbye. A few weeks later, Patty takes a turn for the worse. Our parents admit her into a mental health facility for severe depression and anxiety. One day, we hear our parents speaking in hushed tones in their bedroom. Mom emerges, her eyes red from crying. She tells us Patty committed suicide and died at the facility. They didn't know she had stunken pain meds. In the dark of night, I lay by Jeannie, clutching her hand. What does suicide mean, Jeannie? It means she killed herself, Katie. This word, suicide, floats in my mind for a long time. I'm unable to shed a tear. Don't know how to grieve this unspeakable thing. Couldn't know how. Our home is cloaked in a dark cloud of shame. Our caring Norwegian neighbors deliver platters of krumkake and tuna casseroles like clockwork. The day after the funeral, Mom motions me to the kitchen table. I dig into a mound of dumpling filling. Our home is filled with the aroma of pot stickers, hargao, and shumai. My fingers make pleats around the savory filling. I fall into my mother's trance of efficiency. Fold, pleat, repeat. Fold, pleat, repeat. Fold, pleat, repeat. This is when I learned that it's better to bury the past, better to push down any pain or hurt, better to keep my head down, just keep moving forward, better not to look back. Dad takes Patty's high school photo off the wall and places it in a drawer. We never speak of Patty again. Mom's a seamstress making 50 cents an hour and quickly gains a following among the local Twin Cities fashionistas. She invites them over to lunch to thank them. Oh, Leanne, this lemon chicken is out of this world. We've never tasted anything like it. This is the early 1970s, and the only Chinese food these women had had was chop suey. A bastardization of Chinese cuisine and a vestige of the post-Gold Rush era when Chinese laborers were forced into becoming restaurateurs. Chop suey is something completely foreign to our mom. Leanne, we think you should start catering. Oh, you think people will really like it? Seemingly overnight, my mom is booked constantly for birthdays, weddings, and bar mitzvahs. Growing up, we understand it's our duty to serve as our mom's tiny catering crew out of our basement. We believe our mom has soy sauce running through her veins. We try to ignore the horrified looks of the boys racing up and down our driveway on their bikes when they see Peking ducks hanging to dry in the window. But Mom, everybody else is at the mall. Why am I stuck here making egg rolls? I want to scream this as